So people have talked about for a while about growing artificial meat in a petri dish or other artificial fish or seafood or dairy even in a petri dish, and how it's going to be hugely beneficial for society in terms of CO2, maybe ethics, maybe land usage. But I think it's going to be even more beneficial, and we should invest more of it, even if it's a long way off, than you think. So let's go over quickly some numbers. This is a chart. I'll link with a chart I got below. But as you can see, meat, this section, takes a huge portion of over 50% of the CO2 emitted by agriculture. Dairy, 18.3. Then you have fish over here. And you have a bunch of other ones. You have eggs. And you can have a bunch of other little ones that maybe have a little bit. But altogether, this animal industry takes about 83.5% of the CO2 that agriculture releases. It's over 30% of a household's, depending on the households, but on average for the average U.S. household's CO2 emissions. So quite an amount. And it's over 80% of agricultural land worldwide goes to this. So how can we reduce? So if we could grow it in the lab, we could use significantly less land. We would have to transport the meat less far, so savings with transport because it'll be grown inside a warehouse. We don't have to raise all the other parts of the animal. We don't have to raise the bones, the brain, just the meat. So we could save a lot of things, a lot of CO2. It's hard to calculate exactly because the technology doesn't exist, but a lot of CO2. And this would aid, not only would it get rid of a lot of ethical concerns, but we could also monitor better for health inspections, and it would also mean that people that are unwilling to become vegan or vegetarian would have an easier time becoming more like them, or people with digestive issues and then nutrient deficiency. Some people need to almost eat meat or need to eat meat, as far as we're aware of, because they can't absorb nutrients very well from plants. This is not saying plants don't have nutrients, they just can't absorb it well. So they end up not getting the same amount of nutrients, even if they eat the same amount. And meat is one of the most easily digestible for nutrients, especially if you have digestive issues and you have something causing you to have something like anemia. Many vegetarians and vegans already have anemia and other problems. So that all sounds good, but what will be some other added benefits of this program? Well, let me start going over them. First of all, if we were to Switzerland, we could use this technology to grow other things beyond just meat or milk from animals. For example, better infant milk formula that we can grow at a factory. Imagine infant milk formula is safe, you can raise a baby on it, but it does lack some of the antibodies and other protective chemicals found in natural human milk. That's just a fact. So it helps with the immune system a little less early on, which means a little less more vulnerable. There's also a lot of ingredients I'm missing. Imagine instead we could grow cells in the lab that made human milk. Exactly, and it was not even artificial. It was exactly like human milk. Growing this could help. Again, it could reduce land usage. That land could go to solar power, it could go to habitat restoration, it could go growing more crops, and all these other things. We could even grow them in vertical buildings, so the land footprint is a lot less. We can make better cell cultures. Cell cultures are hugely important in science. There, we test new drugs on them, we learn basic biology, we design new systems. We can do so much with cell cultures, and from basic, so much new medicines are discovered in the beginning, can trace their beginnings to a cell culture. If we can grow better cell cultures, we can test drugs better, we can design better drugs, we can understand the human body better. And growing lab-based meat is one way to start getting to that place. Also, when we're trying to investigate how to grow meat or other products that we eat for science, we're going to gain a basic understanding. We have a better understanding of biology. We can grow better food. We can understand a lot of health problems better. And all these other things. Medicine will be hugely advanced. So we have that basic understanding. We could also learn how to clone stuff. And cloning is not scary cloning, but I'm talking about cloning individual cells and stuff so we can spread them for plants, but also for organ repairs, transplants, growing them for skin patches, basic biology, and so much more. It kind of goes into other ones, but we could also maybe learn how to clone animals that are extinct if you really want to take it far. Or something like that. That's a little more out there. And we might be able to learn how to grow artificial organs from these things better and stem cells eventually to treat things like human diseases. So if we invested heavily in creating lab-based meat, lab-based milk, and all these other things, the benefits could be countless more than we think it is. We can't really put a price tag on this or tell exactly because it really depends on the technology and how it develops, and that's impossible to tell. But some quick thoughts on why maybe we should really dump scientific words, a shitload of money into this thing and 3D printing organs and maybe cause some collaboration between the medical and food industry. Thank you very much, and I hope you will maybe inspired or think of what your thinking changed from this. Please leave a like behind and subscribe. Really, please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Recommend it and share it. And if you want to have any discussion or ideas you think I should talk about, you can leave it in the comments of the video. Thank you very much.